Welcome back. Caitlin Clark, the #1 pick in April's WNBA draft, who had an up-and-down start to her WNBA career, did not make the Olympic team. Clark just put up 30 points versus the Mystics. That was her best game yet, while the Fever's attendance for games is 16,000 plus. This Olympic roster is combined for 15 Olympic gold medals, 18 W championships. It also includes 3 MVPs. You've heard these names: Breanna Stewart, Diana Taurasi, and A'ja Wilson. Team USA seeking their 8th straight gold medal, which would break for the tie for the longest streak in men's or women's Olympic basketball. Also, there's no player under the age of 26 on that roster. Here's Caitlin on not making the team.
Honestly, no disappointment. I think it just gives you something to work for. That's a dream. Hopefully one day I can be there, and I think it's just a little more motivation. You remember that, and hopefully in 4 years, when 4 years comes back around, I can be there.
We talked actually on the bus. She got the call on the bus, and she texted me to let me know, and I just tried to keep her spirits. The thing she said was, "Hey, Coach, they woke a monster," which I thought was awesome.
All right. My girls joining us, Chiney Ogwumike, Andrea Carter. Ladies, good morning. I want to dive right into this one. Chiney, was it a mistake to leave Clark off the Olympic roster?
Hey guys, nice to see you all on this beautiful morning. I'll start with this, Molly. I grew up in the pipeline of USA basketball, competing at the U16s, U18s, World University Games, and I also brought back the first ever 3-on-3 gold world championship medal. And what I have learned in my time with USAB is that Team USA's mission is to construct the best basketball team in the world. Now, as a fan of Caitlin Clark, I would have loved to see her on that stage, doing what she has always done, making moments that grow the game. But Team USA doesn't select simply based off of fandom, especially when the world is catching up. It took a buzzer beater from Stewie for them to beat Belgium in the Olympic qualifying tournament earlier this year. So to me, the primary factor looking at all of this was experience. 9 of the 12 players, as you mentioned, Molly, have competed in the Olympics before. 2 others were all WNBA, and 1, the last spot, if you're going to try to list them down, was Finals MVP. And if you dive into her position, the point guard position, again, they chose experience. Diana Taurasi, Chelsea Gray, Sabrina Ionescu, and even if you put a combo guard like Kelsey Blum into that category. Now that has opened them up to criticism, because Diana's about to turn 42, even though she's still averaging 16 points per game. Chelsea Gray has yet to play this season in the WNBA. And if you had the opportunity to put one of the most popular athletes in the world right now on the roster, you chose not to do that. And to me, that decision was largely based off of experienced basketball as players, not necessarily what's best for business, because the world is coming. And I know Andrea will highlight some other factors, like the physicality of overseas, especially for guards, is 10 times what it is in the WNBA. The familiarity of the roster is important. 8 of the players that made the roster played together at the World Cup in Australia. All of those things factored in the eyes of the committee. Was it a missed opportunity to grow the game? Yes. But to me, it looks like they were more concerned about missing gold.
So if we're trying to go, because we have a precedent here. This is not like this is to be the first time that we're adding a WNBA player.
The physicality of overseas, especially for guards, is 10 times what it is in the WNBA. The familiarity of the roster is important. 8 of the players that made the roster played together at the World Cup in Australia. All of those things factored in the eyes of the committee. Was it a missed opportunity to grow the game? Yes. But to me, it looks like they were more concerned about missing gold.
So if we're trying to go, because we have a precedent here. This is not like this is to be the first time that we're adding a WNBA player. Because you remember in 2004, they put Diana Taurasi on this team. You remember in 2008, they put Candace Parker on this team. And in 2016, they put Stewie on this team. Now, I'm not saying Caitlin Clark is going to have the career that these, but we have a precedent here. They put the men's team, added Christian Laettner. In 2012, they added Anthony Davis because Blake Griffin got hurt. To highlight some of the things that you said, Chiney, is that hadn't played all year. Chelsea Gray hasn't played all year long. So what are we doing? Are we really at some point in time, we've got to stop talking about we're trying to grow the game. Because listen, is she as accomplished? Will she ever be as accomplished as a Stewie, as an A'ja Wilson? And I believe those two, obviously they're slam dunk. They're the 2 best players in the WNBA, hands down, and it's not even close. But are we really trying to grow the game? Because this is the most popular women's basketball player in the world, and it ain't close. They had to move the Mystics game to an NBA arena. Name the time. And I'm going to turn it over to you because I don't want to get long-winded. I want somebody, one of our women colleagues, Stephen A., to tell me when a WNBA game has had to be moved because of a woman player. Just one. Just tell me one. Because I know in her attendance, she's averaging about 17,000. All the other WNBA games in which she's not a participant average about 7. So are we really trying to go the game? Is that what we're really trying to do? Or are we just talking about we're trying to grow the game and just bull jiving? So what woman is more popular?
If you wanna go from a marketing perspective, sure, Caitlin is extremely marketable. However, I just want to pitch this to everyone. Imagine Caitlin joining this team and spending time on the bench. What is the conversation going to be about the entire time the Olympics is going on? Why isn't Caitlin getting more minutes? Why isn't Caitlin playing? I'm sure people will tune in, but what will the conversation be then? I think it's really interesting. Head coach Christy Sides for the Indiana Fever said that a monster was woken up in Caitlin Clark, and I think that is wonderful. I think motivation for Caitlin is wonderful. I'm going to say this. A monster has been woken in all of the women that were selected for the Olympic team also because the conversation is again centered around Caitlin Clark. If your only argument for Caitlin is that it would have been a great marketing opportunity and you don't have basketball experience or chemistry with the group listed in your reasoning, I don't want to hear it. When you talk about Diana Taurasi, she has played overseas basketball. She is having a phenomenal season, putting up big time numbers, and two of her current teammates, though, are on the team, Shannon. You know what chemistry means. You know what it means to have somebody beside you out there on the playing field that you trust, someone that you know. Diana Taurasi knows Kalia Copper. Diana Taurasi knows how to get Brittany Griner the ball on the inside more than anyone else on the team does. Like, there's no way as a professional athlete you can sit here and completely discount what team chemistry and player chemistry stands for and what that means. And think about this. Every other country right now, they're practicing. Every other country is having an opportunity to put the product on the floor leading up to the Olympics. Team USA does not have time for practice. Team USA does not have that time. They have 7 practices before the Olympics begin. So when it comes to training camp in 2022, the World Cup in April 2022, training camp in 2023, those reps and that chemistry matters. It's not Caitlin's fault she didn't have those opportunities to be a part of camp. Her team was playing in the Final Four. That's not Caitlin's fault. But chemistry matters, Shannon. You can't just go stats only. You truly cannot just go stats only.
Can I ask you a question? Did chemistry matter in 2004 when they put Taurasi on the team? Did chemistry matter in 2008 when they put Candace Park on the team? Did chemistry matter in 2016 when they put Stewart on the team? It's really a simple yes or no question.
How about 2012? How about 2012 when my sister wasn't put on the team coming out as a rookie? Or 2016 when that happened again when she's the only WNBA player to be MVP, not make an Olympic team? I'll say this, Shannon, there have been controversial cuts in the past. I know this better than anyone else. One being my sister, one being Candace Parker even later in her career, one being Orike Ogunbowale, who is the W's second leading scorer this year. You can literally make another medal-worthy roster of snubs. This happens every cycle. Would this have been another opportunity for Caitlin to do her thing on the global stage? Yes, it would have been. But at the end of the day, as much as rookies make it, rookies don't. As much as MVPs make it, MVPs don't. And I think what Andrea is speaking to is the familiarity, the physicality, the chemistry. Those things came first. Yes, it was a missed opportunity for fans, but Team USA does not construct their rosters based off of fandom. They do it based off of completing the mission of bringing back a historic 8th straight gold. Did you know that they would set a record, a Team USA record, surpassing the men who did it 7 straight? They would set a record if they win another gold. That is the priority here that I think Andrea is trying to speak to.
Y'all finished? Everybody finished? Everybody get it off the chest.
No, I got more points. I got more points for you, so go ahead. Go ahead, because I got more.
Okay. None of what Shanae and Andrea said was inaccurate. And I'm going to say something to you that I have said on many, many occasions. It's not that you're wrong. It's that we don't care. Everything y'all said does not matter for this particular instance. We don't want to hear anything about Team USA. We know they won 7 straight goals. Put Andrea and Shanae up on this screen. I want to look at them this whole segment when I'm talking to them. You just highlighted 7 straight gold medals. Oh my God, we're really worried that they're not going to get an 8th. Oh, we really worried. I mean, we got to make sure that spots 1 through 12, every single such spot that is picked. I mean, it's got to be, because it's pivotal, Shannon. I don't know if you noticed, Shannon, it's pivotal. I mean, they won 7 straight. They might not get 8. They might not get 8. Stop it. You know good and damn well, with or without Caitlin Clark, they're going to probably win the gold again. That's not what this conversation is about. This is about what I will personally label the idiocy of Team USA women's basketball. How dare you make this decision? It's stupid. And I'm going to tell you why it's stupid. I want all the ladies on this squad to know every single one of y'all are deserving of it. Caitlin Clark does not deserve a spot ahead of any of the players on this roster, okay? If we're talking just basketball, you know we're not. You know we're not. Let's harken back to the Dream Team in 1992. Remember when Christian Laettner was on that squad? Forget the other pro play. Forget the pro players. Forget the pro players. That's a given. First time NBA players were allowed to participate. Don't put that damn screen up when I'm talking right now. I want to see Shanae and Andrea, okay? The point is this. Those rosters, right? Those players were on there. Do you know that Christian Laettner also was chosen ahead of Shaquille O'Neal and Alonzo Mourning? You know why? He was a 2-time national champion. He was a Wooden Award winner. And he was white. And he had his own cachet. He brought it to the table. He was a big-time collegiate player who was white and busting people's you-know-what. They couldn't miss, and they didn't need him. You had Jordan, you had Magic, you had everybody, and you still picked that dude. Why? It wasn't because of basketball, even though he had the basketball credentials. It was because of something else, and they didn't need the pub. But the WNBA does. You got a max salary at $250,000. You had attendance, although it was trending in the right direction, certainly wasn't where you wanted it to be. And as Shannon pointed out, just the other day, you got a team in the Indiana Fever with their struggling selves, struggling to win a damn game and be relevant. No team in the WNBA was worse other than the winless Washington Mystics, okay? And they went from 4,000 in attendance to 17,000. This girl is box office. I said a rising tide lifts all boats. What you do, especially if you're Team USA and you're trying to be globalized, it is an opportunity to globalize the WNBA brand. So people like Brittany Griner, you know, God bless her soul, and others don't have to go to Russia in the off season to play additional basketball to get extra income. They could stay right here if the sport elevates its popularity and you ladies start getting what you richly deserve. I'll even get a bit personal to Chiney Ogwumike and Andrea Carter. I recognize the fact that y'all are outstanding basketball analysts. You know how I feel about both of y'all. I told you privately, I've told the world publicly. I think y'all are a tag team for the ages. I think y'all are spectacular. But as spectacular as you are about talking the game of basketball, is that why you think I call for you to be on First Take? It ain't just because of your expertise. It's because you're great television. You matter. You draw an audience. This man, I don't even call Shannon anymore unless I'm teasing him about the Saturday Night Live skit. It's the truth, Shannon. That's the only time I call him Shannon. You know what I call him now? I call him Shay. or Shay Shay. Why? Because, damn it, that brand is growing. You understand what this man has done to help lift First Take? I ain't apologizing. You make decisions, marketing. I want people watching. I want eyeballs. I want advertising dollars. Why? Because he'll get paid. Y'all will get paid. And guess who else will get paid? You see where I'm coming from? That's what it's about. Stop acting otherwise. We know this. You don't sit up there and pass on Caitlin Clark. It was stupid, Team USA. It was a dumb decision. Everybody, there's always somebody that's a sacrificial lamb. I respect the hell out of Rebecca Lobo and what she broke down. I understand it. It was a stupid decision because it compromises what your ultimate goal is, which is to elevate the WNBA brand. How can you be that idiot? I'm not talking about y'all. I'm talking about Team USA. How could you be that idiotic and not make that call when throughout history, Team USA has been in part about marketing? It's dumb. Period. Floor's y'all's.
If it's a dumb marketing move, Stephen A., I hear you.
Marketing.
But Team USA is not worried about the marketing. That is not Team USA's mission right now.
You're not worried
Team
about
USA is trying to get a gold medal. They're trying to get a gold medal. I understand what y'all are saying. And Shannon, you want to mention, I'm not going back to 1996. That is so long ago. I was 3 years old. I'm not going back to that year. That's too far away. If you go back to 2016, Breanna Stewart being a rookie on that Olympic team, the coach was Gino Auriemma. There was an anchor there for Breanna Stewart to thrive in that situation. There were 4 other Connecticut Huskies on that team to anchor Breanna Stewart in that situation. Like, it's a completely different scenario than 2016 with Breanna Stewart. Breanna Stewart won 4 championships. We're talking basketball. I understand the marketing aspect, but from a basketball perspective, there's no merit for having her on the team. From a basketball perspective.
Andrea, 2 points, and then I'll hand it to Shannon real quick. 2 points, Shannon. Hold on for a second. Number one, Andrea, your point would be more valid if you didn't have a multitude of examples that we could point to where non-basketball decisions were made about a basketball roster. We have evidence that shows that has happened in the past, number one. And number two, because I absolutely adore seeing you on television. I really, really do. So allow me to give you some words of advice. Andrea, I strongly suggest you rethink such positions, especially when it comes to you, because marketing matters. It's how you get paid. If you don't know that, you better hear me and hear me good. I am telling you right now, you are going to be underpaid for the rest of what I believe will be an illustrious career, unless you get your mind right about that marketing. It matters. It matters. Janae, you know I'm right.
I hear you.
You know I'm right.
I hear you, Stephen A., but I will not sacrifice my basketball knowledge and my integrity in terms of the game for marketing. My marketing is doing just fine. And if it has to grow a little bit slower to hold on.
Team USA has. We've had ample evidence where they've done it in the past.
Yes.
Excuse me. I just
and maybe they're not trying to do it this year.
Stephen A., can I say this, Andrea, USA has won 7 straight gold medals. How much have they grown the game? Look at what this girl has done. I asked you earlier, I want you to tell me the WNBA player that's been more popular than Caitlin Clark. Just give me one that has been able to average 17,000 even though they're on a crappy team. Give me one if you're trying to go to game.
Andrea, do me a favor. Finish that initial thought that you were saying about sacrificing your integrity, because that was an important point for marketing.
It's just not something I'm willing to do. And right now, it doesn't seem like something Team USA is willing to do. It just doesn't. And whether you think that's a smart decision or whether you think that's not a smart decision, I also just want you all to think about this. Everything you all are saying is from speculation of how Caitlin will play on the floor. If we were just speculating, and You just want
Put on
her
the
with the
sideline.
team? You just want her walking around with the team on the sideline?
I tell you what, I guarantee you, if I come out with a replica Olympic jersey with Caitlin Clark, she'll outsell the top 5 combined.
I hear you, and that's fine, Shannon. But my point is, what have we talked about with Caitlin in the W so far? What's been one of the biggest topics of conversation? The physicality. If you
Who do
think
we
the
give
W
credit
is physical,
to the growth of the game?
FIBA rules are way more physical than the W. Way more physical than the W. So you want to see Caitlin with zero chemistry with anyone on the team, zero connection to the coach at all. You want to see her potentially get a few minutes here and there, potentially have a hard time with the physicality, and potentially not be able to connect to her teammates, not to a fault of her own, but because she simply hasn't had time with them. You would rather see that than wait 4 more years for Caitlin to have experience, for her jersey to sell out, and for her to have an impact role on the team. You would rather want immediate
And to make
results
her
right
Olympic
now. That's really
debut
what you want.
potentially in Los Angeles. Look, as someone who has played for USA Basketball and understood the nature in which these cuts are made, what Andrea is speaking to is correct. Familiarity is a big thing. My sister did not make the roster despite being MVP, I believe, in the qualifying tournament right before the Olympics happened. That's how difficult it is to make the roster one. Yes, there is an obligation that we believe, especially given the moment that we're in right now with women's basketball, that we all want to see the game grow. But when it comes to the Olympics, the Olympics already are marketed itself. The Olympics are the pinnacle of international competition. Everyone's number one goal there is to win. And while you think that because of where we are in women's basketball, that is what the same thing that should be determined at the Olympics, that's not necessarily the case when it comes to the committee selecting their decisions. So overall, I think, yes, Caitlin, it would have been great to see her there, even if it was in a marginal position. I think the USA committee calculated that let's give her time to grow with this next generation before we roll her out there, because we know that the stakes are going to be higher than any other player in the history of basketball when she goes out there to perform.
Okay.
Why? Why? Go ahead, Stephen A.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Stephen A.
No. Sure. Go ahead. I'll let Janae answer your question first, and then I'll close. Go ahead, Janae.
Are we setting up Caitlin Clark for success if she goes to the Olympics and is not able to meet the expectations of fans like you who would like to see her play when she's going up against the best of the best, the most physical international competition that she has not necessarily seen before, a team she hasn't played with? Are we setting herself up for success?